Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone. And we are calling it iPhone. We're introducing a third kind of notebook. It's called the MacBook Air. In a sentence, it's the world's thinnest notebook. We're going to take it to the next level.
The new iPhone 3GS is a really fast phone. It also has amazing features.
But there is one more thing.
Attack. Attack.
It was the iPad, actually. Oh, it's the show. You're right. Yeah. Apple bought us. Congratulations. Welcome to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the Steve Jobs you care about. I'm Kevin Pereira. It's good to see you.
I'm Olivia Munn. We are coming to you live from the G4 studios in what we like to call Applevania.
That's right. She's also multi-touch compatible. You know what I'm saying? Gesture, swipe. All right. On the show today, Steve Jobs stood on a stage and said words today, my friends. That's right.
Big day.
Apple unveiled the iPad, and we've got Chris Hardwick up in San Francisco with his impressions. And then later, The Loop is going to discuss how groundbreaking or not so groundbreaking today's Apple news actually is.
Then we're going to take a game break. Adam Sessler is here to talk about Mass Effect 2 and how the Apple iPad might change gaming. And then, good news for people that don't give a care about Apple. We have an amazing bathroom video in Around the Nets. The bad news, it stars hot sauce and dude feet.
Ooh. We've been down one of those roads before.
But before we all take a trip to the men's room, we are excited to announce the return of one of our favorite segments.
Yeah.
We call it Steve Jobs Tells You If It's Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. No. You guys thought that was good enough. It gets better. We could not do this without the help of a friend of the show, a true visionary, Mr. Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs! Okay, now, as we all know, Steve Jobs is the ultimate decider of what is and isn't cool,
yes.
right? But before we get going, we're going to ask him a few control questions just to warm him up.
Just to make sure he's working okay.
Establish a baseline.
Okay.
I think that's
Sounds
fair.
good.
So let's start with Olivia's shirt.
Okay.
Steve Jobs, Olivia's shirt. Is it cool or not cool? Cool.
Oh.
All right, excellent choice.
Great.
Excellent choice. It is a very close fit.
Can I try one?
Please.
How about those robots on our set?
Oh, that's a good one. He's thinking. Not cool. Not cool. It's actually not surprising. I don't know why anybody's.
Yeah, I actually don't think anyone would argue with you on that one. So he's working so
we got it. I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball.
One more.
If I may.
Okay.
I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. I wonder, Steve, Twilight. It's been pretty huge this past year. There's a lot of debate. Some pre-teeners say cool.
Yeah, we say
not so much. But I'm pretty sure I know how Steve's going to go on this one. But let me just ask for kicks.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you think? Twilight, cool or not cool?
Steve?
Cool. Really?
Really? Wait,
he thought about that a lot longer than I thought.
Steve, really? Well, I guess we were wrong.
Twilight's cool. Update your Twitters, your wikis, and whatnot.
Should do that.
All right, thank you, Steve. We'll be checking in with you throughout the show. We appreciate it. Is it always dramatic when Steve is on screen?
Why is that music on every time?
Okay,
Steve,
hold on.
Wait, Steve, why does that music come on every time you're on our... What's the sound? What's that sound?
I don't...
Well, maybe...
It's creeping me out. I'd like to not... Okay.
Do you want to...
Yeah, we're good. Okay, no, stop.
Just
Stop
don't do
Steve.
that.
Let's just get the show going.
Okay, it's time to get to the big news of the day. After months of speculation, Apple has finally announced the iPad.
Now, with wings. We sent Chris Hardwick to San Francisco so he could spend the morning smudging all over the new iPad.
It's Chris. I'm here at the Apple event. You can see it is pandemonium, people freaking out, nerds trampling over each other in a very organized fashion. But we're going to go inside and see if we can get some of these ridiculous rumors answered. Finally!
Thanks for coming today. We want to kick off 2010 by introducing a truly magical and revolutionary product today. And we call it the iPad.
9.7-inch screen. It's got the Apple A4 chip, and the 10-hour battery life is enormous.
And it weighs just 1.5 pounds. That is thinner and lighter than any netbook.
There's a ton of apps. It's backwards compatible with the iPhone app, so it'll run the same apps. But they did just release the SDK today, specifically for the iPad, so you will see devices that are specifically designed for this screen.
You can browse the web with it. It is the best browsing experience you've ever had.
Obviously, a lot of people are going to want to use this as a gaming device. I mean, basically, this is going to change the way people game because the iPhone is tiny and it's difficult, you know, like it looks good, but this just looks amazing. The multi-gesturing, the multi-touch interface is incredible. There's a lot of sliding, dragging, and dropping of weapons. I mean, it really is going to change the gaming experience. But probably for me, because I'm on the road a lot and I do a lot of work from my mobile computing, is iWork is huge. I mean, now we finally have a device that I can type up documents and email things. When you go into landscape mode, almost full size. Typing actually works. It works pretty well. I kind of feel like Data. There's nerds here. Someone knows Star Trek: The Next Generation.
The iPad pricing starts not at $9.99, but at just $499. For 32 gigabytes, it's $100 more. And for another $100 beyond that, you get 64 gigabytes of storage. The 3G models cost an extra $130.
There's no Flash video support. It's kind of a bummer because one of the selling points is that you can surf the internet. And if you can't see most of the content that's on the internet, that kind of sucks. But ultimately, I think maybe the second gen, hopefully they'll get that sorted out. I know Flash is kind of a power drain. There's no camera and there's no external USB. I wouldn't necessarily say this will replace your laptop right away, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. I didn't lick it.
That iPad might be pregnant.
Might be. So the questionably named iPad has been revealed.
Yes, and the internet has already released several feminine hygiene-related parodies. I said it'd be good for Yeah.
Yes?
I'm ready to talk about the iPad now.
Cool, actually. We're actually going to get your thoughts just a little bit later in the show, Steve.
We're going to hold off for a little bit.
Is that cool with you? Oh, no, I didn't mean for him to think about it. I meant,
No,
like,
is
it cool?
Is it cool?
I guess that's all right.
Right, but is it... I just want to know, is it cool?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
No. Steve, seriously. Steve, just tell Kevin if it's cool or not so we can move on with the show.
Thank
Just
you.
say cool or not cool.
It may be okay, but making me wait for anything is not cool.
Oh, okay. No. Okay, well,
You're not really waiting. You're
just
like...
standing by for one more thing.
You're still there.
When we come back, we're going to go skinny dipping in web videos. Let's get
Yeah, and you're going to see if something awesome exploding. Things go boom around the net. So you're not waiting. You're hanging out. You're one of the
chilling with us. You're on a stoop. You're stupid.
It's cool. It is cool.
It is very cool. So what are your first impressions?
I like it. I was prepared to like it. I wasn't prepared to like it quite so much. I might be a little caught up in the hysteria, but I will have this in my life.
You think so? What's your favorite feature?
The book reader is one of my favorite features. Everything else I already know how to use. It's basically a big, fat, glorified iPod Touch, and I'm okay with that. But I really like the book reader, and I like the keynote presentations and the other iWork presentations.
All right, cool. Thanks. Natalie Del Conte, Chris Hardwick, media badges. We're going to run around and grab some iPads.
With a question here. Do you guys like playing Modern Warfare 2? Yeah. Okay. Quick today. Do you wonder what it would be like to, I don't know, play it for real? Yeah. They're good.
Well, our number 5 clip shows you what a real noob tube can do.
When you're bored and you own a grenade launcher. The end. That was $5 million tax dollars, by the way, for that 40-second. They got $400 from break on it, but it cost us $5 million.
That was worth it.
Totally. And at number 4, America. We have a video from a South American gentleman who claims that his car window makes a sound that's similar to the famous space monkey from Star Wars. You know what I'm talking about?
But in my personal opinion, the best part of the video is the way he says Chewbacca.
Habla como Chewbacca.
Chewbacca!
Wait, so we know what we think, but Steve, I'd like to go to you. What do you think? Cool or not cool?
First of all, it's a window, so it loses points right there.
Oh, that's
Okay, that's
But its subpar impression of Chewbacca is what really makes it not cool. No.
Yeah, I agree.
I do agree.
That's what I thought. I thought that from the start. I agree with Steve.
Oh, what? What's that?
There is a much more convincing impression of Chewie, and it was done by this cabinet. That cabinet knows how to sound like a space ape from a galaxy far, far away. And it's cool.
Man,
He's right.
You're right.
Steve, you really do make everything better.
You do.
And more expensive.
It's true.
It's true.
It does.
Today's awkward number 3 comes to us from the world of politics in Canada.
Oh, no. Did the maple syrup reform bill fail again?
Worse, it's worse, it's worse. Politician DJ Burke decided to make an American Idol influence remark on the floor of the New Brunswick legislature.
His party's policy in his desk until exposed yesterday by CBC. Mr. Speaker, the leader of the Conservative Party was very clearly caught on CBC with his pants on the ground. Pants on the ground, pants on the ground, looking like a fool with the pants on the ground. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, Canada.
Fails native land. Nailed it.
How do we cleanse our palate after that?
Glad you asked. We can actually do it. How about we show the worst video on the internet?
Oh, is it so bad that it's good? That kind of like so bad it's good?
No, it's just so bad. Well, I'm done with hot sauce. So
And feet.
yeah.
And bathrooms.
Yeah. But don't worry, today's number 1 video is going to redeem us. We got it. Today's number 1 is actually video proof that some women out there can actually...
Excuse me.
What?
Kevin, Olivia, I've noticed your around the net has been lackluster today.
Oh, that's rude.
That's why I've decided to stand on the shoulders of your pioneering segment and crush it with a Steve Jobs web exclusive number 1 around the net.
What?
Wait, what?
This...
And now, a Steve Jobs exclusive web video.
This is a video I have personally curated from the World Wide Web. I think you'll appreciate its striking combination of form, function, and human spirit.
Come on. Walk closer. Oh, nice. Play the bongos on the floor. Yeah.
Really, Steve? Butt bongos?
Yeah, butt bongos.
She's playing his buttocks as if they were musical instruments. Very cool.
Cool.
I don't think it's that cool.
Thank you for that. Wait, what?
One more thing that's cool.
Cool.
Today's web tools Here are some new apps for your iPhone that will also run natively on the new iPad, shipping in just a few months from Apple.
Want to flex your creative muscle, but you can't even draw a straight line? It's your iPhone to the rescue with 3 clever and easy ways to make some art worthy of any gallery. First, take your finger graffiti into the 3rd dimension with Dust Tag. It analyzes your graffiti style, or lack thereof, by recording your finger movements. To start a new act of vandalism, simply press the record button. As you draw, the app records the duration and the speed of your graffiti. When you finish, Dust Tag plays your tag back instantly, using time as the 3rd dimension. Tilt your iPhone to see it from another perspective, and pinch it to zoom. If you're happy with the results, and you want to share your vandalism skills with the world, just tap the options button to upload your tag to an online graffiti database. There, anyone can view, rate, and comment on your master stroke. At $1.99, it's a lot cheaper than a can of spray paint. Plus, you can't get busted for your creativity. Want to create some magic instead? Well, harness the awesome power of magical horses with Unicorn. It turns any average snapshot into a fantastical masterpiece. To start, pick a photo from your library or take a new one. Then frame up your subject's face using pinch and zoom. Select one of Unicorn's 12 sweet backdrops. If it looks like something a hipster would hang in their living room, you're doing it right. Now finish it off with a perfectly placed unicorn horn. When you're done, save it to your photo library, share it with your friends via email, or embarrass them publicly on Facebook. For just 99 cents, Unicorn is a fun and easy way to add some magic to all of your pictures. Aiming for something even more trippy? Transform your photos into acid-induced artwork from the 60s with Phototropedelic. Getting started is as simple as shooting or choosing a photo. In less than a minute, the app completes the psychedelic effect. If you're not happy with the results, you can tweak the effects for nearly unlimited possibilities. Change the number of colors, add and remove stars or circles, and much more. But one of the app's strongest features is that it creates high-resolution PDFs, which are suitable for printing poster-sized versions of your favorite creations. For this reason alone, it's worth its $1.99 price tag. See, you don't need any real talent to make something cool. So grab your iPhone or your iPod Touch and start making art.
In this modern age, a Unicorn app is just as essential as Shazam or a calorie counter.
Yeah. And just think how large those horns are going to look on a 10-inch screen. You know what I'm getting at there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Kevin, we know what you're getting
and
at.
about the extra screen real estate, well, you know.
Yes, we know what you're getting
and
at.
even if the app's not natively designed for, like, the iPad, it can double it, pixel per pixel, so it can get twice the size on the newer device. The older app will.
When did you regret starting to talk?
About 3 sentences ago. About 3 sentences.
So still ahead, Apple's hoping you open your wallets for the new iPad. Fun name. And we'll figure out if you should be saving for it in the loop. That's you, Kevin.
And we'll take a game break with Dr. Adam Sessler. He'll be here to talk about Mass Effect 2 and how the iPad might change gaming or just make it kind of larger. Stick around.
Please tell me, overall, what do you think?
I think it's a fantastic device. Mm-hmm. If you love the iPhone, you're going to love this. It doesn't have some of the 3G stuff you're looking for. Right. People were talking about, oh, this is going to be a GPS device. There's no GPS. You can't do stuff that people are really dreaming up, like the web chat with the front camera.
No camera.
No camera.
No flash support.
No flash support, yes.
Yeah.
So it's not really a computer. It's just basically a big iPhone.
I'm here with Ryan Block, a gentleman I know who runs GDGT, or Gadget, as it is otherwise known. Quick first impressions. Anything stick out about the iPad?
It's a little heavy. It's actually, 1.5 pounds doesn't sound like a lot. It's actually a little heavy, especially if you've used an iPhone before.
And if you're holding it for hours at a time playing games, right?
Yeah, you notice in the video that's on the web, they actually show it on people's laps and stuff like that. I think you're going to need to. It's going to put a little bit of pressure on the wrist if you're hanging onto it all the time.
Can I be honest and tell you that I'm starting to get iPhone thumb from repetitive stress disorder? Like my thumb feels sprained a lot of the time.
It's not going to get a whole lot better with this thing. You have to really actually it's bigger, so you have to stretch your thumbs even a little bit further to get all the way in on the keyboard.
Thank you, guys. We are live.
Let's get the world's non-Apple news.
Wake up, Steve Jobs!
He's over there sleeping. Let's start the feed. It is Wednesday, January 27th. Here are your top stories. Come on, we got to give you guys one Apple story. This cannot be an Apple-free feed. So here we go, my friends. The iPad may be making its acting debut in the Fox series 24. According to TastySlate.com, the director of photography for the fast-paced counterterrorism show tweeted that Jack Bauer will probably get his hands on the iPad in an episode later this spring. Now, no word yet on what role the iPad may play in the current story arc, but maybe Jack can use it to save the world, as long as its flash isn't needed. Oh! Apple stock just dropped like 0.0001 cent. All right, now it looks like Avatar won't be the only 3D movie starring Sam Worthington. The Aussie star's next film, a remake of the campy classic Clash of the Titans, will now greet your eyeballs in 3 glorious dimensions. Now, while the film wasn't originally intended to be in 3D, it's not shocking that Warner has decided to convert it and added a lucrative extra dimension to its box office. 3D ticket prices are widely credited with helping Avatar become the highest-grossing film of all time, and it's also no surprise that the same studio will now release the final 2 Harry Potter movies in 3D. So are those funny little stereoscopic glasses the future of film? Find out when Warner's releases The Kraken in 3D on April 2nd. Why did I say it like that? So weird. And finally, some sad news from space. The $900 million Mars Spirit rover has become permanently stuck in a sandy rut on Mars after more than 5 years of scientific exploration, lasting far longer than its intended 90-day mission. The poor little fella has damaged his 2 right wheels, and in the immortal words of a Life Alert ad, the rover has, quote, fallen and it can't get up, end quote. NASA still hopes that the robot will still be able to collect some data from its sandy resting place. A moment of silence for the $900 million we threw away on that Tinker toy. I'm Blair Herter. I'm sad that I'm leaving you on such a sad note, but you've just been fed.
Thank you, Blair. Now, Steve Jobs and his iPad sent Apple stock up, and now The Loop will discuss if the magical new creation actually lives up to any of the hype. Joining me from San Francisco to help us make sense of it all, senior contributing editor for Gizmodo, Mark Wilson, is here, and our very own tech correspondent, Dr. Dave Matthews, joins us as well. Thanks for joining us in The Loop, gentlemen. Guys, we've all seen what people are saying online about the iPad. But Mark, let's start with you. What hasn't been said about the iPad? What do people need to hear about this device that wasn't in the keynote?
You know, I don't know. I played with the device for like about 15 minutes, and I would say the one thing I didn't realize after seeing that huge bezel, around the screen was that actually it feels great in your hands. And the system is just so fast, and going between all the apps is faster than you've seen on the iPhone 3G or 3GS.
Right. Well, I mean, it should be fast, Dave, right? Because it's only running one application at a time.
That's right. They just missed the boat here. This thing does not multitask. I really want to see more of a portable OS X than I do a big iPhone. I already have an iPhone with its limitations.
Yeah, that is true. But what about the price point, Mark? I mean, $499 for the base model. Is that the way people are going to sway on this device?
I think so, because the nickel and diming you sort of get to with the extra 16 gigabytes or 32 gigabytes later, and the 3G plans are really expensive. But $499, I think, I don't know about you guys, but I was pretty surprised when they dropped that sort of bombshell at the keynote today.
That is true, but Dave, we're looking at $499 for 16 gigs. There's no SD card on there without an adapter or some sort of dongle. I mean, this is aimed for soccer moms. Soccer moms don't dongle, Dave.
No. It's like not enough space at all. We should have had 32 gigs, 64, 128. The fact that they put 16 is a joke. The other thing is every one of these devices should have connectivity. There's this chip called Gobi, which will work across all the networks, both CDMA like Verizon and Sprint, and the HSDPA like AT&T, and they didn't even go with that chipset. So once again, another fail.
Yeah, I felt like Apple sort of reached through the monitor and punched me in the eye when they announced AT&T. Mark, am I the only one, or is AT&T a problem here?
Yeah, I mean, I think AT&T is a problem if you wanted 3G, and if you own an iPhone, you know AT&T is horrible. But I don't know that Verizon would be an upsell to anybody who doesn't want to pay $30 a month for data anyway, which I think, I don't think many people with iPhones are also going to pay for subscriptions on, tablets.
But their map is covered in red. How could we not want Verizon? Or maybe we'll save the money from the data plan and put it towards, I don't know, a USB adapter. I can't believe the iPad doesn't support USB out of the box. But what about the camera?
Well, kind of it does, Kevin. It'll support these little gadgets like this that use that 30-pin dock on the bottom. Right. And it'll do USB, but only to things like cameras. And they do have a VGA output as well, so you'll be able to use special applications like Keynote to do video output, but non-high def and no HDMI.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But the
I mean, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
Well, what I keep in mind with that dock connector, though, is that API is open, so software developers and hardware developers can make more things with it. So while it's not really a straight USB solution, there is a lot of creativity we're going to see from third-party groups on it.
Yeah, I just personally don't like the notion of having to carry around extra things, even if they are very tiny and coming right out of the box. I just don't like having to carry multiple things, especially to even hold the device up. I mean, if you're on a plane, it's resting on your tray, unless you buy some sort of stand for it. But what about the camera?
Hey, Kevin, they should have put a kickstand on this.
A tiny little lever, something on the back to hold it up would have been great. And what about the camera? Because I know we had all these high expectations going into it. Of course, Apple couldn't have given us everything that the blogosphere was hoping for. But Dave, no camera?
Yeah, you know what, Kevin? This is a classic Steve Jobs. He just baits us along. All the early adopter Alpha Geek fanboys are going to go buy this one with 16 gig for $499, and then next year for $499 you're going to get 64 gig, and you'll get a forward-facing camera, and you'll get rainbows and unicorns.
Right. But still no simultaneous applications, I'm sure. But what about gaming? I mean, they made a big announcement about gaming. It's clear that they're going after that market. Mark, is that going to be the iPad's secret weapon here?
I think it might be, I think apps are the iPad's secret weapon, just like they are for the iPhone, in a sense. But I think gaming in itself could be all of those bad things about gaming, all those control problems are there, and they're only exacerbated by a bigger screen, and it's a bigger thing that you have to hold. So while the screen is wonderful and it's way bigger than a PSP or a DSi, it's still going to have all the same control problems that the iPhone had.
Dave, do you agree? Do you expect a peripheral?
Yeah, I played some of the games in the normal iPhone mode, which is the small screen. And then you can hit a button and it'll blow them up to the full screen. And it does this dual pixel interpolation. That's easy for me to say.
Interpolation,
anyway, that interpolation makes everything look blurry and fuzzy. So the app developers are really going to have to spend some time taking up all that real estate. And I wonder if we'll have two versions of the same game. We'll have a low-impact version for the iPhone and a high impact for this big screen.
Sure.
I don't know. I think it's a little too cumbersome, and I wish they would have gone to OS 10.
Right. And to that point, and I'll ask you, Mark, with the native iPhone apps looking a little fuzzy if you blow them up, I mean, people are excited that, hey, look, they bought the app already. It'll play right on their iPad. But do you think consumers are going to enjoy perhaps having to buy another version of their game, one that's designed for the larger screen?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people will end up buying another version of the same game, for the tablet or whatever. But I will say, actually, I thought the interpolation worked pretty well on the racing game that I tried. I'm not sure that it's going to work great for every type of graphic, but I think that for general sort of low-end 3D graphics, the real problem is the polygon count more than the interpolation
Well,
itself.
as long as my fart button applications are anti-aliased, I'm happy. I'll be good to go. Now, Dave, there's a promise of 10-hour battery life. We have a bookstore as well. They said 10 hours when watching video. Do you believe them?
Yeah, so I was confused at first. I thought 10 hours was only with the screen off and the unit playing Kenny G music.
Right.
But it turns out that the processor, because they built their own 1 gigahertz, the A4, this new Apple chip, this came from some technology they bought with a chip company a few years ago. It seems to be able to do 720p HD decode as well as drive all the games and still maintain a low power. So from what I'm told, that 20 hours is using 10 hour is using 802.11n and full screen capability. So they might really have that whole thing packed with batteries.
I hope so. I hope so. Let's ask you then, Mark, the $1 million question. Are you going to buy one? And if so, which one are you grabbing?
I'm thinking about buying one. I don't know that I'm totally sold on it, but I think the $499 is the most attractive one. Even with the 16 gigabytes of memory, which is admittedly ridiculous, I don't really want to pay $800, with 3G for this thing.
I would agree with that. Dave, what about you, sir? Are you picking one up?
Kevin, I love my Hackintosh, my Dell Mini 9 for like $199, and then an SSD on top of that.
Wait, Dave, Steve told you there was a gap in your life, and then he showed you the product to fill it. You're not going to get the iPad?
My Gap has more megabytes, and my Gap can especially run Flash.
All right, that's enough talking about your Gap for today. Thanks to Mark and Dave for keeping us in the loop. We appreciate your analysis, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's ask Mr. Jobs himself. I mean, we have him here. Steve, what do you think of your iPad, Steve?
I'm in your video wall, Kevin.
Okay. So, did you move to a different studio or something, or how?
No, Kevin, I'm in your video wall. I can do that.
Okay, well, let's hear your verdict on the iPad then, Steve. What do you think?
I have to say, Kevin, the iPad is definitely not cool.
Not cool. Oh, wait. What, Steve? Really?
I know what I said, Kevin.
Okay, but in your presentation today, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but today you said this thing was a magical and revolutionary device. I mean, you said...
Exactly, Kevin. It's not cool. It's hella cool.
Hella cool. Really? NorCal. Let's go over to Olivia.
Kevin had a line that said oof to say. Kevin, you didn't say oof.
Oof.
Stay tuned. Kevin is going to admit to lustful thoughts about a video game character in Game Break, and then you're going to learn all the dirty details about how the iPad might affect gaming. Stick around.
The workers demand more attack of the show. Международное явление. Сейчас более атака. We'll be right back.
I hope there's even more hot alien sex in Mass Effect 2. I really do. Speaking of hot alien sex, X plays Adam Sessler.
I do hope there is. There really should be a lot, because that way they'll go back on Fox News. Then I can do another rant.
Yeah.
Because I need to meet more idiots in my life.
Well, the Fox is the place. You're
yes.
good. Before we get into Mass Effect 2, though, we're chatting Apple today, of course. The iPad, is that going to change gaming? Is that going to just make it larger?
I mean, I'm considering it the iPod big, or the iPhone big.
Yeah.
And you can only play those same games, which, while they might be fun to play, don't really constitute game and game making, and I don't see anything kind of big and substantive. What they should have done is they should have shown LucasArts with all their adventure games you can play on that screen.
Like Scum VM.
But you know what? That would have been clever.
Yeah. Okay. So is it a game changer then? Is it revolutionary or not yet? At
no.
least?
And you know what? I think the fact is Apple is kind of late to the party and also decided to come wearing an ascot and sipping Chardonnay. So no one really kind of wants to get on board with their attitude.
All right. Well, let's get on board with Mass Effect, because this is the one I missed the boat the first time. I did not play the first Mass Effect.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't. I totally missed it. I was like, look, turn-based, I don't know. I want to do my own shooting. And then getting into Mass Effect 2, I love it so far, and I feel like, damn it, I really missed out. Like, I feel like I'm missing some of the story. It's catching me up.
Yeah, it's interesting. For just the purposes of story, I think there is value in playing the first Mass Effect, because number 2 is very epic, and I think it resonates on a better level if you kind of know what happened in the first one. When it comes to gameplay and all those things, it's such a major improvement that more or less, if you've gone Mass Effect 2, you can't go back.
Right.
It's going to be really challenging.
And let's talk about that, because the moment I started playing this, I said, oh, I need to go back and play 1. I want that. And then I heard, actually, no, if you like the combat system, which is sort of a main portion of the game, you're not going to like Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 2 kind of changed the combat.
Yeah, Mass Effect 1, what the highlights were was the storytelling, all the interaction, all the stuff that was...
chatter.
Yeah, all the stuff that was quite revolutionary for BioWare. But they really kind of fell short on combat, that while it was kind of fun to be in the middle of, there was no visceral thrill. There's nothing like that. And here they've revamped it, so if you have the reticle on someone's head, you're getting a headshot.
Right.
And a lot of your biotic powers, which are... It's Mass Effect for force powers. You can do those real time with your character Shepard, and really mixing those two together without having to stop down and select it is very exciting and very, very satisfying.
And what about things like squad management? Very important for a game like this when you're constantly running around with your squad. I like the fact that the game just sort of does it for me.
Yes, I know that there is a group of people that kind of are used to the more traditional RPGs that are disappointed. It makes the game so much more accessible. It's amazing. And I think the one unsung aspect of Mass Effect 2 is this support AI is good.
Yeah.
And it's so good you don't notice how good it is. This isn't like Resident Evil 5 where someone's getting in your way. Even if I want cover that they're in, they move. Like, oh, I'll go into gunfire. You stay safe.
You paid for this experience. Here, let me get shot.
It really is. It's very satisfying, and it really is up to par with almost every other aspect of the game.
And what about the decisions that you make from the first game? They actually come into play in Mass Effect 2, right?
Now, unfortunately, when I did my review of Mass Effect 1, I found out at the last minute that I played on a hard drive that was sent to me by Microsoft that I sent went back, so I didn't have a full save from the first game. I still had an experience that actually pretty much replicated what I had done in the first, and now in talking to other people here at work who are playing it, it's very clear that small things actually do reverberate into your playthrough.
You
in
banged
Mass
the wrong
Effect 2.
alien in the wrong solar system.
And apparently they're even going to have impact in Mass Effect 3. I think what's most interesting is you and I were just talking. I don't want to give anything away, but people are having much different experiences than I had.
I'm now I'm probably like 4-6 hours into the game, and I said, well, what about this part? And you went, huh? Like I was playing a completely different experience.
And there's one
I was
character,
Tiger Woods golfing, as far as you knew.
There's one character in the game that never really got along with me and was always very obstreperous, and he apparently is very friendly with some other people here at G4.
Let me ask you this. I don't doubt that, but I sat through a loading screen on the ship just to go hit on Meredith. When can I put it in her in the game? And how many different people in Mass Effect?
You mean Miranda?
Or Miranda?
Yes.
Maybe that's why she wanted to have sex with me. I always say let's chat. I'm sitting by her desk all the time. Hey, let's talk upgrades. Now when can I get to it?
Well, you need to be diligent, and like I said, I've only had my playthrough.
What do you recommend? What
you
are
have to be a really
dislikes?
good listener, Kevin.
I can't do that. I skip all of her dialogue. I'm pressing X. I'm like, shut up and get naked.
I think she can tell. Just humor her. But, actually, from what I gathered, you need to be very diligent about talking to people. And I'll just say that when I did get busy, it was not with who I thought it was going to be with, and it happened not when I thought it would.
Oh, surprise.
Yes.
Just
unlike
like
any
college.
aspect of my life.
Exactly. I know you loved it. I'm shocked at how much I am enjoying it. I'm having a blast with it. What was X-Play giving this?
This is a 5 out of 5, and on the level of emphatic as Uncharted 2. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't play this game.
Agreed. All right, now before you go, I hear you have a bit of an anniversary coming up.
Oh, yes. We're very old, and we're going to identify that on February 1st because we're celebrating our 1,000th. 1,000th episode. Congrats. And that's leading up to the 1 hour special. We have a fan favorite marathon where the viewers voted on their very favorite episodes of X-Play. So you'll see all of Morgan's hairstyles, my one hairstyle that stays the same and just kind of gets lighter and lighter.
It's graceful. Don't miss X-Play's 1,000. It's February 1st. Congratulations on that, sir.
Oh, thank you very much.
February 1st, yes. Really, big deal.
I think the world changes, right? Because you guys just had one only a few months ago.
It feels exactly the same when you wake up.
Awesome.
You just crack a little bit more. That's about it.
Yay.
Let's go over to Olivia.
All right, everybody, skip 2 turns and roll the dice. It's time for a board game edition of Attack This. Where's Waldo was awesome, period. If you disagree, then you are no friend of mine. Got that? Got that? But if you are a friend of mine, then you should grab Picturika. This simple game challenges you to use your eyes to track down random objects lost in a mess of cracked out cartoons. And that's pretty much it. Now, it may seem like a kiddie game, but trust us, things can get pretty heated. You can enhance the game by adding your own beverage rules. After a while, the doodles start blurring together, and you grab yourself this competitive eye exam for only $17, and then you just have the time of your life. It's awesome. Now, sure, we all joke about the zombie invasion. Well, we joke about it. Kevin does not. He takes it very seriously. But deep down inside, you know it is no laughing matter, okay? To help you improve your chances of survival, you need to work out your strategy, which is why zombies should be your game of choice. In this modular action game, you play a survivor pitted against a city swarming with undead. Each turn, you build the map using a deck of city tiles in hopes of finding the helipad. Blast your way through the infested streets, killing zombies with a dice and supply of bullets that add bonuses to your roll. Now, the first person to reach the helipad is the winner. Pretty simple. Go to TwilightCreationsInc.com to get this game for only $25. Might we also recommend Dominion in this competitive card game where you race against your opponents to build the best possible deck. The game is different every time. You play with 25 sets of cards to randomly choose from, whether it be the thief that allows you to steal your treasure from players, or the moat to counteract SOBs trying to steal your coin. Every action plays a vital role in your quest for glory. In the end, the person with the most victory points in their deck wins. It's simple and it's hours of fun. Plus, you get to be a tyrannical ruler over small peons, which is always fun. You can buy this game online or in gaming stores for only $45. Head on over to g4tv.com/AOTS for info on all these tabletop games and more. Still ahead, you're going to see an idiot void his own warranty in today's Break Moments in De-Evolution.
this world, not very bright people often hurt themselves so that we can show their pain and profit from it on television.
Yes. Big dummies of the world, we salute you, and we thank you for these break moments in de-evolution.
Now, it's not that uncommon for people to try the sort of do-it-yourself style of piercing at home.
Yeah. But this next guy takes his own homegrown self-mutilation just, sorry, one step farther.
There it is. Go.
No.
Halfway through. That wasn't so bad.
Yeah. What? I was just.
No.
Well, Steve's still here, so.
Yeah, Steve.
Steve,
what's on?
how are you going to rate the video we just saw? Oh, there's the music. Yeah.
I have chosen the most horrifying, mind-boggling thing ever known to man. The Zune.
Okay.
Not bad, but okay.
Well, Steve, I have a Zune. I actually like it. But how many Zunes would you like to give the guy?
That is some Ballmer level stuff right there. 5 out of 5 Zunes.
Oh, wow. Full Zoom. Full Zoom. Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to go throw up now.
Let's just go get the bucket first.
Huh? Many thanks to our guests, Chris Hardwick, Dave Matthews, Mark Wilson from Gizmodo, of course, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Still thinking about his appearance.
Steve Jobs. Does it? Does it always make? Wonder if we make that sound if we go to Kevin. It makes a noise when.
Apparently, we got what? Huh? Someone's shuffling iTunes right now, trying to make this bit happen. Hold on. There's Steve, and
Kevin.
Oh. Hey, for extended Apple press event coverage, go to g4tv.com/Apple.
Stay tuned. We got human wrecking balls. Big one. Good night, everybody.